The first time Evelyn saw him, he appeared out of nowhere, literally. One moment she was sitting alone on a weathered wooden bench in Hyde Park, watching golden leaves drift slowly from trees, and the next, there he was, standing right in front of her like he'd always belonged there. His coat was too long for the season, his shoes a century too old, and his eyes didn't look like they belonged to someone from now. They were filled with urgency, pain, and something even deeper, recognition. He looked at her as if he had found something he'd been searching for across oceans, across lifetimes. She blinked, unsure if he was about to ask her something or if she was dreaming. But then he spoke, his voice trembling yet firm. "You don't know me yet," he said, "but you will. And I don't have much time." She didn't scream, didn't even flinch. Instead, Evelyn stared at him, her heart already betraying her by racing in a way it hadn't in years. Not since Henry. Not since she lost the man she loved in a car crash 3 years ago, the man she had planned to marry, grow old with, laugh and cry with. The man who never came home that rainy night. "I'm not crazy," he said quickly, as if reading her fear. "I know how this looks, but I'm not from now. I'm here because you're in danger, and because I love you." She laughed, nervously at first. "This is a joke, right? Are you from some kind of hidden camera show?" she asked, looking around. But there were no cameras, no producers jumping out. Just him. That stare. That impossible familiarity. And a thin silver device in his palm that looked far too advanced to be anything from her world. He showed it to her. "Some sort of time travel mechanism," he said. She couldn't understand the science, but the desperation in his voice kept her from walking away. His name, he told her, was Adrian. And he had loved her before, again and again, through lifetimes, through loops in time that kept pulling them apart. And now, the universe had given him one last chance to fix it. "You're going to die in 4 days," he whispered. "Unless I change it." Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. She stood up, backing away. "This is too much," she murmured. "I don't even know you. But I know you." Evelyn Harper. Born September 9th, 1993. Your mother is Annette. Your father passed away when you were 9. You have a scar behind your ear from when you fell off a bike at 7. You like your tea with exactly 1 spoon of sugar, and you still sleep on the left side of the bed, even though no one shares it anymore. Her heart twisted. How could he know all this? "Because I was there," he said softly. "Just not in this timeline." Evelyn walked away. She didn't know if he was a genius or a madman, but everything in her screamed to run. Yet that night, she couldn't sleep. The memory of his eyes, so familiar, so tragic, haunted her. In her dreams, she saw glimpses of things she couldn't explain. A ballroom from the 1800s, a battlefield with smoke and fire, a cabin under snowfall, a wedding she had never lived, and always him, dying for her, over and over again. She returned to the park the next day, and there he was, waiting. "I thought you wouldn't come," he said. "I shouldn't have," she replied, but sat beside him anyway. "Tell me everything." Adrian told her of the agency he once worked for in the year 2219, of the secret experiment he'd been part of, designed to explore the nature of causality, love, and time. He was one of the few who had survived the mental toll of leaping through decades and centuries. But the moment he saw her for the first time, in Paris, 1870, during a mission, he felt something change. Like he had known her before his own birth. They kept finding each other. In different centuries, different bodies, but always the same soul. She never remembered him, but he always remembered her, and every time, she died. A war. A plague. A fire. A betrayal. A disease. A knife in the dark. She never survived. He tried to let go. He even erased his memory once, hoping to escape the pain. But the universe had its own plans. Their fates were entangled. Always have been. But this time, he said, it's a car. A drunk driver. For days from now. And this timeline might be my last jump. Evelyn didn't believe it all, not entirely. But her heart did. Somewhere deep, she felt like her soul had just awakened from a long slumber. She let him walk her home. Let him hold her hand. Let him kiss her on the cheek like they had kissed for centuries. And in that moment, she didn't feel like a stranger anymore. They spent the next few days together. Not like strangers falling in love, but like lovers rediscovering each other in a world that had forgotten them. He cooked for her. Showed her strange old music he claimed she used to love in a different life. He recited poetry from memory, lines she didn't know, but felt like home. Each night, she asked more. And each night, he told her everything. The timelines where they were farmers, soldiers, rebels, dancers, spies. The lifetimes where they had children, where they ruled kingdoms, where they died in each other's arms. She cried, not because she believed every word, but because she wanted it to be true. On the third day, he grew quiet. Restless. I need to show you something, he said. They walked to a secluded part of the city, where an abandoned warehouse stood. Inside, hidden behind metal and rubble, was a device, a small beacon. When activated, it projected images from his last jump. A burning building, Evelyn screaming, Adrian running toward her, the flash of death. And a man, someone she didn't recognize. That man, Adrian said, pointing, isn't just drunk. He's sent. Someone wants you dead. Someone who knows about the loops. Evelyn's world tilted. Why me? She asked. I don't know. But I can't lose you again. That night, they didn't sleep. They held each other like they were holding back the end of the world. And for once, Evelyn didn't resist. She believed. Maybe not all the science, but she believed in him. She believed in what they had. Whatever it was, however impossible, the final day came. Adrian had everything planned. The route she would normally take to work, he changed it. The cafe she'd visit, closed. Her phone, disabled. Every variable accounted for. Except one. The man showed up anyway. At sunset. While they walked by the river, a van sped through the barricades, aiming straight for Evelyn. Adrian shoved her out of the way, taking the hit full on. The world blurred. Screams. Sirens. Blood, and Adrian, dying in her arms. No, she sobbed. No, you promised. This was supposed to be the one. His hand reached up, brushing her tear-soaked cheek. I saved your heart, he whispered. This time. I saved it. Then he was gone. Evelyn couldn't move for hours. Her body screamed with grief, her soul shattering with every beat. He had loved her through time, fought death for her, and in the end, gave his life to save hers. But the universe wasn't finished yet. A month later, a letter arrived. No address. No stamp. Inside was a device, his, and a note in his handwriting. I've set the beacon to one last location. One last loop. Use it only if your heart calls me back. Evelyn held the device in shaking hands, and then she pressed the button, because her heart had never stopped calling. The room dimmed, bathed in blue light from the beacon in her hand. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, steady, alive. She didn't know what would happen when she pressed it. Would it take her back in time? Forward? Would she see Adrian again, or only memories of him flickering through space like dying stars? She pressed it anyway. The world around her stretched, folded, and collapsed in on itself. The air turned thin, and for a moment she felt weightless, like she was falling through a dream. When her eyes opened, she was standing in the middle of a cobblestone street soaked in rain. The buildings were older. The lamps gaslit. Horses pulled carriages past her as strangers in bonnets and top hats moved around her like ghosts. She wasn't in London anymore. Not the London she knew. She spun around, heart racing. Adrian. She cried out. No answer, but something had changed. In her coat pocket, she found a letter, sealed in wax. She broke it open with trembling fingers and read the handwriting she already knew by heart. You found the last key. I'm somewhere in this timeline, Evelyn. But I don't remember you here. The reset cost me everything. You'll have to find me. You'll have to make me fall in love with you. Again. Tears blurred her vision. The cruel irony of it, he had died saving her, and now she had to save him from forgetting everything they were. Evelyn began her search. Days passed. Weeks. She wandered through old libraries, cafes, university halls, music venues, anywhere a man like Adrian might gravitate toward. She kept asking questions, following whispers of a strange man who spoke of stars and machines, who scribbled future poetry in a century that didn't understand him. She finally found him at a bookshop in the back alleys of 19th century Paris. He was arguing with the owner about a book that hadn't been published yet. His hair was a bit longer, face more tired, and his clothes more fitted to the time, but the soul behind his eyes was unmistakable. He turned to her, annoyed by the interruption, then froze. She smiled, not too wide, not too eager. Just enough to say, there you are. You look familiar, he said slowly, puzzled. I get that a lot, she lied, though her heart ached at the words. Adrian, in this timeline, went by another name, Julian Marceau. A poet, a dream. Let him discover the pull between them. Then one day, in a moonlit courtyard where music drifted from a nearby ball, he kissed her. And in that kiss, something stirred. His body tensed, his hand trembled, and when he pulled away, there was fear in his eyes. I dreamed of you, he whispered. Before I met you, I saw your face. Her breath caught. What else did you see? He didn't answer, just stared at her like she was both salvation and madness. Memories began to trickle back into him, flashes at first. The sound of her laughter in 2024. The scent of her hair from 1922. Blood on his hands in 2145. Her voice calling out his name in the snow of Siberia, 1912.it overwhelmed him. He collapsed one night, shaking, screaming. Evelyn stayed by his side, holding him through the storm of identities he couldn't explain. And slowly, he remembered. Not all at once. Not everything. But enough. He remembered Hyde Park. He remembered saving her. He remembered dying in her arms. But he didn't remember activating the beacon, which meant someone else did. Evelyn's hands turned cold. They weren't alone in this timeline. Adrian, once recovered, ran calculations. He suspected the one who had wanted her dead hadn't been working alone. There were others, keepers of the continuum, manipulators of fate. Someone wanted the loop broken, and they were willing to erase her entirely to do it. "We need to leave," he told her one night, urgency returning to his voice. "Now, before they find you again." "Where?" she asked. "To the origin point, where we first crossed paths in the time stream. It's the only place I can protect you." They ran. Across borders, across seasons. A ship to America, then to Japan, then to a hidden cave in northern Iceland where the stream beneath the continuum pulsed in raw, unshielded energy. There, Adrian began building a beacon of his own. Bigger, more precise. A chance not just to leap, but to anchor. To lock a timeline where they could both live, without resets, without loops, without death. But time wasn't done with them. One night, as snow blanketed the valley, a woman arrived, dressed in silver, eyes like obsidian. She called herself Seraphine. "I am a guardian of the thread," she said coldly. "You have stolen too many moments, twisted too many lines. Love has made you reckless, Adrian." "I don't care," he growled. "She lives. That's all that matters." Seraphine turned to Evelyn. "Do you even know what he's risking? Whole centuries burned behind him. Universes collapse so you two can dance through time." "I didn't ask for this," Evelyn said, "but I won't let you take him away." Seraphine raised her hand, and time stopped. Everything froze. The wind. The snow. Adrian mid-breath. Only Evelyn could move. Seraphine stepped closer. "I'm giving you a choice. Leave this timeline. Let him forget. Let him live the life meant for him. Or fight us and doom everything." Evelyn looked at Adrian, then back at Seraphine. "I choose love," she whispered. "Every time." And with that, she grabbed the beacon and smashed it against the frozen earth. The shockwave tore through the cave. Seraphine vanished. Adrian gasped as time resumed, and everything changed. They awoke somewhere else. Together. No loops. No beacon. No devices. Just a cottage by the sea. A normal life. No memories of other timelines. Just feelings. Just instinct. Adrian didn't remember time travel. But he remembered her. She remembered everything. She chose to never tell him. Instead, she let the past be past. Let the future unfold. And every night, when he held her close, she whispered a silent thank you to the stars for bringing him back. For once, time had given them mercy. And in that quiet world where waves kissed the shore and birds sang from trees untouched by war or loss, Evelyn and Adrian finally, truly, endlessly, lived.